top
Fine.
3
Done.
TV shows, and let's move on to movies. I was honestly shocked that all 3 of us did not pick the same number 1, and I was kind of disappointed.
Our
But
guest.
it's okay because we still love you, Alex.
There's a ton of
let's go
in our list, which is great.
There is a ton of overlap on this list. Alex, what is your 3rd favorite movie of 2015?
If you had asked me like that this would fall like at the bottom of this short list, but when 2015 began, I would have called you a crazy person. But honestly, like this was the one that I thought was a shoo-in for number 1, which is Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. And the other 2 I didn't expect to like. Especially my number 2, which I was very skeptical about going in, but we can get to that in a little bit.
I will say I was very surprised to see this on your list at all.
Yeah, I was really happy walking out of Avengers 2, and I'm still like really happy with it. It has a lot of issues that I think definitely have sunk in more as time's gone on, but like it is also still like really, really charming in a way that like nothing will ever like be able to replicate that first time I saw Avengers 1. Like it can never be. The sequel could never be as good as that. And I didn't necessarily want it to be. I wanted it to be something different. It was. It had a lot of cool new characters. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's lagged out.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Your video cut.
Somewhere Mike is like
okay.
like tossing shit together.
Can you
He's like,
hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. We can.
Okay. Well, that's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think as far as Avengers goes, like I agree. I was really happy coming out of it. I really liked the new characters they introduced. I thought they did an awesome job with Ultron. I thought Paul Bettany did an awesome job in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I was very happy coming out of the movie. But there were so many other movies that came out this year that I enjoyed the same, if not more.
And like that also brings up another point. Like this wasn't a good year for movies for me, unfortunately. I didn't get out to see as much stuff as I wanted to. Like I haven't
seen so much more stuff this year than I did last year.
Yeah, last year was crazy for me. But like I maybe only saw like 6 movies this year, probably less.
So I'll say this before we move on to the next.
I think I've seen my number 1 almost 6 times.
I haven't even seen it twice, but I will. No, to me, I actually felt almost the exact opposite coming out of the movie. Like, it was interesting, but I feel like if the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are formulated around the same context as this, like, it will not succeed in the long run. Like, I felt like the way they played on the characters and how they interacted and how that played into the story arc was just so weak. It was literally like, hey, let's bring out these great characters that people love and maybe some that people haven't heard of, and that's our movie, folks. That's what it felt like to me.
I think that's fair. Like, like I said, it's not without issues. I really liked it, just because like I feel like they didn't have to like establish the relationship between everyone anymore, right? Like it had already been established in the first one, so like. Thor and Hulk have this thing. Iron Man and Captain America have this thing. Like they have like a repertoire. They go back and forth, and they play into that. Like there's a lot of funny moments in this movie that like really stick out in my mind. It's like it's a really really funny movie.
But I do kind of agree with Sam. Also, the first Avengers, every movie had something that built into it.
Yeah.
More solidly, and this one really didn't. And I guess like I don't know. I think Captain America: Civil War is going to be more Avengers 2 than Avengers 2 was Avengers 2.
I don't disagree with you. Although I have a very different expectation for Captain America: Civil War, having like the knowledge of what the comic is and not expecting it to be anything like that. Because like I feel like if you do expect that, you're going to be really disappointed. But yeah, like I think like having conflict between them is like where they should have gone, and I think that's where they're going. And Captain America 2 is probably the best Marvel movie, and I think the Russo brothers are doing a lot of really crazy stuff. So I think where they're going to go next with Civil War is going to be awesome.
I mean, I almost liked the fact that Ant-Man came out this year. It was kind of almost like, even though it is Marvel, it was kind of like slapping Marvel around a little bit, which is really amusing to me.
Yeah, they really had fun with that one. So
yeah. All right.
Let's move on to your number 3, Sam.
Well, okay, my number 3 is Alex's number 1. Should we just talk about it simultaneously?
Spoiler alert.
I have a story that I can tell when I talk about it. So you go ahead, Sam.
Okay. So my number 3 was Inside Out, which was really good. It starred a cast of veritable voices that most may recognize. But I mean, long story short, it was a Pixar movie where it kind of takes place roughly in like a girl's head. And there's 5 characters that are the different moods that are kind of like driving the character. And I guess like the overarching story plot is that, you know, the girl literally is like leaving her home, I think in Minnesota or Michigan or something like that, and moving out to the Bay Area. And like she's like 12 or 13, and like all of the like anguish and everything that goes around with it throws her mind into complete disarray. And then, you know, of course, the little 5 actors who represent the moods kind of bring that all together. I mean, to me, I think the biggest standout, and we talked about this a while ago when we talked about cartoons and animated series, is that there was really a direct, like, if you were an adult, you could enjoy this. If you were a kid, you could enjoy this, even if you didn't understand some of the like more overarching tones of the movie. And I thought that's what really stood out to me, is that it was, you know, for all ages, but deep, like deeper than, you know, Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, you know,
sick burn.
Oh,
I have to say this one, Inside Out, really like it hit really close to home for me.
Hit in the feels, right?
Because growing up, I moved a lot. I changed schools a lot. I was taken away from all of these close friends that I made and thrown into new places all the time. So, you know, it was a great movie. I think Pixar has done better, but you know, comparing it to other Pixar movies, I feel like it could have been better. Is all. But emotionally, it hit me hard, slapped me with a bag of bricks in the face.
So
but,
we'll let Alex tell his story when we get to him.
Oh, I'm saving it. Yeah.
Oh, he's saving it. He's saving it.
Awesome.
All right, Ben, your number 3.
My number 3 was a movie that I also was not sure I would like, because, you know, this franchise has kind of burned me already with its 3rd iteration of a movie, and that was Jurassic World. I was so incredibly happy to be thrown back into the world of Jurassic Park with this new movie. And it was one of those movies where I walked out of the theater with just a big ass grin on my face because of how just exciting it was. It might not have been a great movie. Like, I definitely had issues with Bryce Dallas Howard. And well, that was really it. But I enjoyed the movie a lot, and dinosaurs are awesome. And I liked the way they tied it into the first movie. Like, they even had the Asian scientist from Jurassic Park there creating these new dinosaurs, and they even went in and explained why velociraptors don't look like velociraptors.
They fixed the science.
Yeah, they fixed the science with it, and I thought it was very creative how they did that, and I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, did you guys not enjoy Jurassic World?
I never saw it, so
It's on my list. It's on my list.
What?
I didn't see The Martian either. Like I said, I'm terrible. I wanted to see like half the movies
Just leaving.
that came out this year, and I didn't
No,
get to see
I mean,
them.
coincidentally, Jurassic World was when like I was traveling on vacation a lot, and then by the time I got back, I just didn't really have a sense of actually watching it. Like I don't watch a lot of movies, and I'll just tell you, within the last month, I've probably watched more movies than I did in like the last 2 years.
Dude,
Like-
Citizen PM hasn't seen it either. How am I surrounded by people who have not seen this movie?
Did well at the box office.
Yeah, it did well in the box office.
I have no
so I'm
idea
shocked
how it
that you
did
guys
so
haven't
well
seen
at
it.
the box office, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I just think, I don't know. I knew it was a good movie, and I knew it was doing well in the box office. I coincidentally also never really heard people talking about it.
Yeah, same.
Okay, fine.
And I blame you for that, man, because you loved it, so you should have been talking about it all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Not really.
I guess it's just because I have, a significant other to go see movies with and stuff like that.
No, just
That's fair.
rub it in, buddy. You're really getting some good graces over here.
Shout out to Citizen for giving me that ammo. Thank you so much.
Don't worry, we'll have a Lonely Hearts episode where you're not invited.
Oh, that's fine. Whatever. Do whatever you want, Sam.
Okay, I will.
Alex, what is number 2?
For me, number 2 is Star Wars, which I know a lot of people here seem to feel very strongly about it. So I'm a little hesitant to voice why it wasn't number 2.
Do it.
Do it.
So I went into this movie not expecting it to be good.
Okay.
I had very low expectations. I think that was like,
Okay, real quick. No
Yeah.
spoilers for Star Wars are going to be mentioned in this
no.
at all. Okay? Just whether or not we liked the movie is going to be voiced.
Yeah.
So if you
So I
find
should
that a
tell
spoiler,
No, just kidding.
then you might want to not listen.
I saw it by myself as well, also to Asian Hardwire in the chat. So I saw it like I had an extra couple hours after I got off work. They were showing screenings at 1 a.m. that Thursday, and I wasn't working until late the next day. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to be up for a while, so I'll go see it. Like I want to see it. I want to know whether or not I can like Star Wars again, because I was one of those people who's real burned by the prequels. I think Attack of the Clones is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's an atrocious pile of garbage.
So you think Attack of the Clones? Never mind.
Yeah, I think that was the worst one.
Okay.
Full disclosure. That's a discussion we could have for a while. So going into this one, like low expectation, low bar, totally open to the idea of liking it, and I loved it. Like I loved it. I didn't like taking myself out of it. I loved it because it was like, oh, it's a good Star Wars movie. I think it is a great movie. I don't think it's amazing. I have a lot of issues with the movie, which I won't go into, obviously, for people who like haven't seen it yet. But like, that didn't hold me back from loving it. But it did hold me back from feeling certain things about it. And I'm still, I would say, hesitant as to where they're going to go. I think they have a couple paths that they can go, and I'm hoping it's one more over the other.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I loved how much they focused on what was new.
Yeah.
Especially the characters. Like the focus on the newer people is why that movie is good, I think.
We're approaching very close to spoiler territory.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you that. Like, if I look at all of this, and I think if this was my introduction to the Star Wars universe, how would I feel about it? Yeah, I probably wouldn't feel like it was the best ever. Blah blah
I think
blah.
I think if you hadn't seen any Star Wars movie, this might even. I think this could be better. Just because of like how they do characters and stuff. There is definitely like some stuff that a lot of people probably wouldn't get, but that's to be expected with a seventh in a series. But yeah, like I said, I loved it, but I have issues with it that we can't get into. But yeah, what's new makes that movie fresh in a way that I wasn't expecting, and I was really happy with that. So,
all right,
Sam, number 2.
Surprisingly, not on anyone else's list.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, and then I saw it on your list. I'm like,
The Martian.
well, at least we're gonna
I
talk.
want to see this so bad. So
It
it's
is.
killing me.
First of all, I think it's on streaming now. It may be. It's definitely on DVD. It's definitely on DVD and Blu-ray or whatever. It may be on streaming. The Martian, which I like. So first of all, like I really get scared whenever any of my good friends are like, "Hey, like I really love the story behind this. I love this movie. Like the concept. You need to go see this movie," because like if I don't like it, I feel like I'm like disappointing their character. Fortunately, that was not the case. The Martian was great. For anyone who hasn't seen it, doesn't know what it's about, basically, a guy. There's a manned mission to Mars. They're on there for a certain amount of time, and essentially this guy gets stranded as they're trying to escape this like huge dust storm. And it's about his story of being stuck on Mars by himself because the crew thinks he's dead, and he's got to find a way to live for however long until they get him back. So yeah, it was really great. I know like the backstory from the books is that it's scientifically accurate, which obviously doesn't come across in a movie. Like you they could have fudged things and it would have been fine, but it was scientifically realistic. I think
The guy who
Mythbusters
wrote
will have
the
a hard
book,
time proving
he
it.
based a lot of the science on it on a book that came out like 30 years ago called A Case for Mars, which is essentially some guy writing about how in the 70s we had the technology to do manned missions to Mars. There's a lot of science behind it it's sound science.
Yeah. But even without the science, it just has a good mix of humor in it that like it to me it feels like a better version of Apollo 13, which to be fair, like Apollo 13 was much more grounded in reality and therefore could not be as great in concept, but it gives you kind of all of the same like tugs and pulls of Apollo 13 with like a little bit better humor. And so definitely a must see, like definitely worth watching.
I agree. Absolutely would recommend it to anyone who yeah, The Martian. My number 2, which I'm not surprised to see on no one's list, because this happens every year. I pick a movie that might not have been everyone's favorite, but I just absolutely had a blast seeing. And this year, that movie is Kingsman.
I really liked The Kingsman.
No, Kingsman was great.
That movie was fantastic. Like the fight scenes in it, like one of my favorite things about that movie were the fight scenes and how, like, more recently, fight scenes are always done zoomed in very close to the fight. Whereas in this one, the camera was out of the fight a lot of the time, so you could see how well choreographed some of this stuff was. It was Asian style. It was.
Excuse me, what?
Well, I don't know about that.
That was Mike in my ear, I swear.
Great.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like it was very reminiscent of like Kill Bill for me.
Yeah,
like those kinds of fights.
That's definitely true.
And just without spoiling anything, just the church scene.
Yeah,
I just saw a GIF of the church scene.
Oh my god!
Today on social. I don't know
Like,
if that person had watched the movie, but that church scene is it's
the,
awesome.
the church scene was fantastic and so well done.
Yeah.
And it was just, again, a great, fun movie, and I'm excited about the second one.
There's a second one?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
making another
I
one.
did not know that.
It's also based off of a comic book, which is an amazing comic book, and I highly recommend to anyone who has not read it.
Same title.
Yeah, Kingsman. Yeah, I think it's Kingsman, the Queen's Secret Service, or something like that.
What the full title of the film is, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fantastic movie, and I urge anyone who has not seen it to go see it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a fun movie. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's like a Bond movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it was definitely more self-serious than I expected it would be. Like the main character has like a story where
Yeah.
I didn't expect there to be much of one. And there's like a journey and there's trials and tribulations mixed up with some humor. And I didn't expect there to be really any serious part. I expected it to be kind of more like a spoof movie about a spy movie. But it is like there is a through line that is pretty legitimate as well.
Yeah.
On the continuum of like Spy Kids to 007,
Yeah.
it's closer to 007.
Yeah, yeah. And
It's a
Samuel L. Jackson.
really, really wide gap that you just...
It is. It's a wide. I'm looking at opposite ends of the spy spectrum. Okay.
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson's an amazing villain in that movie.
Oh,
Holy crap.
It really is.
Holy crap.
Yeah, no, absolutely phenomenal movie. Let's move on to our number ones.
Let me tell you a
Alex,
story.
All talked about.
Tell me about
Tell us the story.
Inside Out.
It's a PlayStation experience, and I'm flying from Maryland to San
Wait, you saw
Francisco.
this during PlayStation Experience?
No, I'm
okay.
flying from Maryland to San Francisco.
Okay.
My connecting flight into Chicago, and then Chicago to San Francisco. So I'm 5-hour flight. I'm cozied up. I'm like, why don't I? This is a flight. Why don't I watch a movie? That's how people pass time.
Yeah, it's true.
And I was like, well, I've heard really good things about Inside Out. I should watch that. How terrible an idea to watch that surrounded by people I don't know. Because I have joined the Mile Cry Club, which I don't know if I'm like necessarily proud or like really disappointed in myself, but I cried almost from beginning to end of that movie. There were like intermittent points of like just like dryness when like adventure is happening and stuff. But like just anytime like there was even like a hint of like it's time to get emotional, I'm like covering my face, like the sides of my face, so no one like on the sides of me can see the tears are just streaming down my face. And of course, the very nice lady next to me, who's very considerate, is wearing a blindfold and Bose headphones, like completely cut off from the flight for all the moments except the entirety of when I was watching this movie. So I'm just sitting there in my head like, she thinks I'm weird. I'm sitting here crying watching a movie for kids, and she thinks I'm weird. But yeah, I feel like as someone who suffers from, I don't mean to get this super real quick, but as someone who suffers from clinical depression and like having experienced sadness like that you just can't explain, right? Like there is emotions that you get that you can't explain why you're feeling this. Really, like, I don't know, they like hit on that chord so well in this movie, and they pulled at my heartstrings so well of like, sometimes there isn't a reason, but like sometimes you need to feel sad so that you can feel happy again. And like sometimes you need to appreciate and feel sad and just let that out. So that you can be happy again and feel relieved and get that relief. And that was like really the message of the movie. It was like a balance between happiness and sadness because you need both in your life.
Well, I thought they did it in such an approachable way too. Like it wasn't like a therapist telling you that.
No.
And it also wasn't like, let's joke around and like make some story where you're trying to like touch on that. Like, because there's actually emotions as characters in the movies, they can like attack it right on, but also in a way that isn't like too deep for kids.
Yeah,
or
it's
deep for anyone actually.
It's super
Well, it's
subtle.
And they're already talking about how they're using this movie in children's psychology clinics to help kids understand how to explain, their emotions.
Yeah, and it's just like it really connected with me. In my opinion, it's the best movie Pixar's ever made. And it is my favorite Pixar movie, which I didn't expect it to resonate with me as much as it did, especially over something like Toy Story 3, which is for me like having like
Wall-E, man, that one's my favorite.
A lot of people like Wall-E. Like for me, I was the age of the main character of Toy Story when Toy Story 1 came out, and I was the age of the main character when Toy Story 3 came out. So like seeing those movies as I grew up was like that finale for that
you were their target.
Yeah, I was their target audience. The 90s kid it was really a hit home for me. So like seeing like this kind of chapter close in my life with Toy Story 3, and of course they're making it 4 now, but like whatever. Like having that feeling and like that movie is about like kind of accepting inevitability. Like this movie even overrode that, and again, like there are a lot of messages there that I think resonated with me more than will with a lot of people, and like that's fine. And I'm glad that you guys like it as well, though. It's a really specific movie to my interests, and like it was an unforgettable experience, regardless of the fact that I was on an airplane at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I probably watched it around the same time you did, to be honest, and the worst part of it was like the next week, my friends were like, let's go see Good Dinosaur. And I'm like, all right, like I'm in a Pixar mood. That was good. And then it was like, nah, this is not like even remotely close to as good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, which is unfortunate, but
it's good. It's just not like when I'm comparing it to Inside Out, like it.
Yeah, it doesn't hold a candle, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, so people who see some movies with me might know this, but I get very emotional in movies very easily.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised that throughout the movie of Inside Out, I did not really get that emotional. It wasn't until like the very end where I just like lost it.
Yeah.
Like for pretty much the last like 20 minutes of the movie, it was just a nonstop stream of tears. But I was in a very dark room and no one else could see me, so
if I had watched that alone at my house, I would have been like wailing, like loudly sobbing as like obnoxiously as possible. Like I can't even imagine. I'm kind of glad I didn't. But it's a great movie. I love it, so.
Yeah. And yes, Agent Hardwire, I do have emotions. A lot of them. Sam, let's talk about our number one.
Yeah! And
Star Wars!
Interestingly enough, I had the same feeling that Alex did on Inside Out when I was watching Star Wars. Because I
had a lot of the same feelings.
So I watched it in 3D, and I was like, all right, I'm watching it in 3D. I'm going to wear my contacts. And I was like, well, shit, maybe if my eyes didn't tear up so fucking much, like, this would be okay. But that nostalgia really hit home. Like,
I started crying when the crawl started. Like, I just teared up. I'm like, oh, God. So.
So much. Okay. Obviously, it's Star Wars.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I agree. I mean, I don't think I have ever experienced a movie where I'm sitting in the seat and the Lucasfilm logo pops up and all of a sudden my heart just starts racing. Like I'm literally sitting there like, oh my God, I'm about to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was in an opening
making fun of me because I'm getting teary-eyed right now, which you guys can't see because I have my camera off.
I understand though. Like again, it was a thing of like when I went into it, I didn't know if I could care about Star Wars anymore. And I care a lot. I realized
I care a lot too. I care so much. 2 days after I saw the movie, I bought the visual dictionary so I could learn more.
I needed to learn. I need to enrich my life. I need to
get this.
You guys can't see it, and I'll mess Mike up if I show it. I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just that movie, though, and I am actually starting to cry. Just
just,
know.
Citizens calling you out for breaking your camera on purpose. Just so
in anticipation, right?
yeah, no, I mean, I have such fond memories of Star Wars. Like the first, Alex, I don't know if you know this, but the first time my first Star Wars experience, I saw episodes 4, 5, and 6 in theaters with my dad,
told me that.
and we were the only ones in the theater
My
watching all 3 of them, and it was just like the best moment that I think I've shared with my dad when I was that age, and going in and seeing Star Wars, it made me sad that I was not seeing it with my dad.
Yeah, me too. Like my first experience with Star Wars was watching A New Hope,
A New Home.
A New Hope on VHS with my dad in my living room, and then we went out and we watched Empire Strikes Back in movie theaters, and I was like maybe 4, and as a 4-year-old, that shit was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And like that is like still my favorite movie going experience ever. So,
and I agree. I think I was like 4 or 5 when we saw this, but I remember it so vividly, down to where we sat in the theater, the fact that I was running up and down the aisle pretending to do lightsaber battles, and just I just remember it so vividly, and it's like the only memory that I'm able to really retain from that time period of my life.
yeah.
So,
Okay, did you got? I'm assuming based on timing because I'm not totally sure how old you guys were. Do you watch the originals or do you watch special editions?
I watched the originals.
yeah, mine were the originals.
Okay, that's what I figured.
My dad owned a video store at one point, so he had copies of the original.
Yeah, not first
VHSs.
run originals.
Yeah. So
yeah, because I did not. The only version of the new ones or the originals that I saw in theaters were the new ones.
Yeah, it was. I think it might have been an updated version of Empire, but it was in the '90s, so like I don't think much had changed. So
yeah. No, I only saw the special editions, which sucks. But
they're releasing the originals on Blu-ray.
The originals on VHS.
They're going to be releasing the originals on Blu-rays. Yeah.
Okay, this is real, right? Like this is not. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, Disney is not going to be like, oh.
What I'm saying is like,
let's not
see that. You see people trolling with that all the time. Like the only thing that could possibly be trolled more than that was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, which they trolled, and then they're like, no, but for real. Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. So, I'm sorry, Alex, but I think Sam and I are going to beat you down to say Star Wars was number 1.
That's fine.
Good.
Like I said, I loved it. So like I just Inside Out resonated in a way that I don't think any other movie would have. And if I hadn't seen Inside Out, Star Wars would be my number 1. So,
all right. Well, there you go. A ringing endorsement. If I hadn't seen this movie would have been the best.
Inside Out 2.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I think Inside Out should be number 2 as well. It was great. Not my favorite, but you know.
I was saying don't say Inside Out 2 as in don't make a sequel to that.
No,
also.
do not make a sequel to that. Number 3.
I honestly think number 3 should be The Martian.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So Nerdy Nights top 3 movies of 2015 go Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Inside Out, and The Martian.
I need to see.
I'm gonna make freaking like certificates. I'm gonna mail them to these studios. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
I will say it would have been very amusing if we had picked like Avengers and then Disney would just have a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we picked The Martian.
We did that. Oh man, Agent Hardwire's parents did not like Star Wars, so she didn't see it until she was 13.
That's
Oh
rough.
my god.
That's rough.
Although I imagine like as a teenager, Star Wars is pretty good. Like it's pretty good to see Star Wars as a teenager. I would say better to see as a kid, but like
Guys,
they're
we've
both
been
good.
running a long time.